There is an endless sea of podcasts about entrepreneurship. Talking about it, but not living it. We live it every day. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle, talking about real estate investing, but also encompassing general subjects in regards to owning small to medium-sized businesses. And of course, all the struggles that business owners must overcome to be successful. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. And this is Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Wolf's Den. I'm Joni Wolfswinkle and I'm here with Shawn Wolfswinkle. How are you, Shawn?
You're doing great, thank you.
Awesome. So I hope you guys had a chance to listen to our series, our real estate series that we just finished. And if you haven't, please reference back to that. There's some good stuff in there. We got a lot of great feedback from that. So
I think people enjoyed it, and we kind of broke down each step along the way, and we're intermixing real estate with business, with personal, and mindset today. And I hope we hopefully deliver today. So we will deliver today. I'm gonna change my
change your mindset.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it would just trying to add value, and a lot of this of where we get this from, or where we come up with what we're going to talk about is usually what we're going through, what we're living.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
absolutely.
So when we put together something, it's like, okay, this we just experienced this week. I think everybody would find it value of what we're struggling with, or what we overcame, or things we're learning.
Right.
And I think one of the best ways to learn something yourself is to teach it. And so if we can learn something and then teach it to you guys, or share it, mainly just share it, I think it helps us as well in the learning process. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So today, episode 33, we are going to be talking about how much are you caring about other people's opinions, and finding peace. Yes. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, and I think if you, obviously there's, the opposite is not caring about what other people's opinions are, is where you find peace. But,
right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know about for you. Oh, I know there's times for you for sure. And I think I can
absolutely.
narrow down.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of this is going to be actually in my book. So in about 30 days, my book will be launched. The Choice is Yours, and Balancing Success as a Wife, Mom, and Entrepreneur. So, so a lot of this is in there. But yeah, I mean, for years I struggled with what other people, other people's opinions. I'm too young to be, finish college and starting my career in real estate. I'm too young for that. And when I wanted to go this career path and also be a mom, they're like, well, you can't do it all. Well, who says you can't? Until you really stop caring about what other people think, I mean, you're not going to find true happiness.
Correct. And your books, so around Christmas time, 2020, it'll be launched, and so we're excited about that.
21.
No, Christmas 2020.
Oh yeah, 20.
Yeah, 2020. So it'll be, I think, and it's geared towards everybody, but also helping women and overcoming some of those
the challenges and struggles
of that, and along with what you're saying as far as there's obviously as a woman you get more criticized for different whether it's your looks, your being a mother and maybe having a working career or just maybe you're just stay-at-home mom and you get criticized because you don't work.
I mean, there's so much negativity out there, and you imagine if you have all these people telling you these things, eventually you're going to believe it, and then you start questioning, am I being a good mother, or, am I being a good spouse, or, why can't I look like her, or why can't I, have the career like her, or, you just start questioning yourself, and then ultimately, you have to train your mindset. I mean, I know I did. I had to, read a lot of books, podcasts, and really focus on myself.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was, for years growing up, I really struggled with what other people, and people that have told this on podcasts, I think before, but it's like, I was almost like trying to be invisible and like hiding on her because I thought people cared so much about me. And to be honest, they never even knew I existed, I don't think. But to me, I was like, I was so insecure, and I valued other people's opinion. And so anything, and there's an extent, even my son, I see this in him at times, like, you know, it really affects him when somebody says like something so minor, and I have to have compassion with him and understand where he's coming from, because that's one time that was me too. And I got to know that until I released that, until I was aware of it, and until I stopped, you know, putting so much emphasis on other people's opinions, I wasn't freed. And
right.
And where I think a lot of this comes from is, and I think you'll agree with me on this, because I think this is where you've had struggles in life too, is you don't feel enough. Like you don't feel you're enough.
Yeah.
And so if you don't feel like you're enough, I think that's where you start putting, you start giving merit or value to other people's opinion, right? Because you're seeking it to an extent, and if you're putting that much emphasis and merit and value,
you're seeking validation from others to an approval from it, and for years I did
and
that. It's like
it's a bad cycle.
Yeah, because you're looking for validation from someone to give you the approval to to do something in life, and if they don't agree with you, then you're like, man, like feel like a failure, and
you don't feel like you're enough, or you're inadequate. And I think that's where if we can overcome that, and people are gonna say, well, that's easy for you guys to say, is you overcome that, but I think you can overcome it. How would you say you in your life? Can you give me a couple of examples? I get the books, the reading, changing your mind, right? And that's where you
absolutely.
change that.
And even early at my young age, when I was going through all these challenges with, broken home, and my father had his drug addiction and all that, it's like, and I think a lot of people used to say, well, you're probably going to follow that same path, or it didn't have a lot of confidence in me. And I mean, I had family members tell me that, and so for me, that was really motivation to like, hey, I'm going to prove them wrong. Like, changing my mindset that, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be the victim. I'm not going to follow those same footsteps, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong. But again, it was me changing my mindset to know and tell myself that, yes, I can do that, and I can be successful despite the challenges.
Correct. And it's, and I think the premise, so a lot of what we're talking about too, I want to give credit to where I think a lot of what we're talking about, there's he's called the Mind Architect, Peter Crone. So if you're not following him, I think he's a great person to follow on Instagram. But yeah, so I think what you just said, it's, a lot of it's dictated upon your past, correct? But then, you can't change your past, but you can change the narrative in your mind that dictates that past. Like, so in other words, like, yes, you can't change what happened in the past, but you can change in your mind how you respond or how you react to certain things. And that's where you started with books, reading, affirmations, and then action. And that caused you to, think differently, act differently, which caused, different results, which changed your past again, because once you've gone through that, you realize, okay, well, hey, I am adequate. I can sell. I can raise money. I can remodel a house, and all of a sudden I can write a book, and things that, and so that you were told you couldn't do, you changed that narrative and changed and improved it, and then all of a sudden dictated. And so like a lot of what we're talking about today and overcoming is living in the present moment, and not, we have no control over other people. We have no control over the future. We have no control over what the coronavirus is going to do or what the next president's going to do. We can only control what we can do today, each one of us.
Exactly.
And how we think.
You can only control your own thoughts, your own emotions. You can only control yourself. You can't control everything else.
And for me, it was like I had to really start studying that, and trust me, it's a daily practice. It's not like something like, hey, I figured it out and I'm done. Like there's still times like, man, I'm massively insecure, and I'm like nervous about what people think, and then I'm like, who
cares?
What am I care? Well, who like
who are you trying to please?
Yeah. And again, I go back to like, they don't even know you're even in the room, so why do you care what they think?
And that's what I've gone to, lad. I mean, I don't care. I mean, you know, it's your business. I mean, whatever your neighbor does, that's their business. Like, stay out of their business. You know, whatever your business is, you stay in your business and care about what you're doing. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking, because chances are they're not even thinking that.
Correct. And you have no control over what they think. And that's what I constantly have to tell myself, is like, you know what? I can't control what they're thinking, whether it's justified or wrong or correct, whatever. Like, who cares? I can't control it. So why worry about it? Why? I'm going to just be concerned with what I can do today, what I can control in my sphere, or what I can do. Otherwise, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to, I'm not naive to it all, but I'm not going to worry about it or change my thoughts or have negativity or be depressed or be stressed out about it. I'm just going to worry about what I can do today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and this goes back to something as I get, I'm not even that old, but as I get older and wiser and trust me, I'm not that wise, but I got a long way to go. But as I continue,
hey, it's a mindset. Remember,
if
you say you're not wise,
as I continue to just mature with age and study more and more people. I was going to say successful people, and this is not. I almost don't like the word successful, because I think it gets thrown around so much, and I think that you can have success in every area.
Yeah, you can.
This doesn't talk about money or business or.
And what it comes down to is discipline, commitment. So you can be successful in action. You can be successful in anything.
But what I was getting at with a point was the action part. I think that as I've really started to study people that have had success in whatever area of life, it's that despite what other people's opinions are, despite even sometimes what their past or their past narrative and story that they tell themselves sometimes, they take massive action and they act today in the present moment that changes their future. That because they take action now. They're not worried about. They're calculated maybe, but to an extent they're not. Their concern about the future is not going to slow them down from taking action today, right? Which changes their past, which changes any past history. So this goes back to, where people are born and raised in certain demographics or certain areas, and you see these people that come out of that succeed is because they've taken massive action. They maybe had a bad childhood, even for yourself, your own past story, and you took action, you changed that narrative, and you dramatically affect, your past doesn't dictate you anymore. It doesn't control you or handcuff you anymore. And so I just think that be concerned about today and what you can do today and take action in today.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And that might be hard. We were just talking about this a little bit ago with, what's going on with, the pandemic, and people just are just stressed out, and so concerned about who our president's going to be, what the future is going to hold, and it's causing all this anger, anxiety, stress, and it's like, it doesn't matter. Just focus on what's going on today.
Control.
What you can control today, right?
Yeah. Don't be the future. There's a good Bible verse for this, but you can't control the tomorrow, and you can only control today. Tomorrow will be tomorrow, whatever happens. And so, like, what can you do today? How can you make an impact today? How can you show love today? How can you help somebody today? I think that's where we should be focused on, especially right now with everything so uncertain. But just what can you do today to benefit somebody, to help somebody out, to make an impact in this world? Maybe it's a business. Your business can make an impact. It's a holiday season. What impact can you make?
And that just brings me back to, knowing your values. Like, just like you might have core values for, your business, you want to have core values for your personal life as well. showing kindness, being authentic, showing compassion, you know.
Yeah, and compassion even. I think
And showing compassion to yourself,
Yeah.
like cutting yourself some slack.
Yeah,
You're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. So just
accept yourself
exactly.
for who you are.
Yeah.
Accept yourself. Like I feel overweight right now still. Even maybe it's the holiday, but I'm trying to lose weight. But like, yeah, I got to learn to just love me,
it.
love my fluffy self,
I love
just the
you.
way, just the way I am right now. But I mean, that's, you gotta, I think that's where you find peace.
Yeah, and happiness.
Yeah, and happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just is accepting it and loving you for who you are. And then like perseverance is another one, one of your personal core values. But some of this gave me some thoughts. I had put some notes down that I thought were as I was going back to successful people or different industries in different ways, and if they would have listened to the naysayers, or they would have put a lot of value on other people's opinion, we wouldn't have like great movies that we have today, because everybody's scared to make a movie with that because they're gonna get criticized. Music, the music that's produced, new businesses. If people put so much value on what other people thought and didn't just truly live in the moment, create something special today out of love, I don't think we would have some of the great industries and music and movies and things that bring a lot of joy.
Totally agree with that.
And something I was thinking about, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and Matthew McConaughey was talking about his movies, and he doesn't care at all what people think about his movies and when he's filming, he is so present. And I think that's why he comes across on his movie is like he can play those characters, play those characters and some wild characters at time. And I think it's just because he's so in that moment, in the present, and
he doesn't care who he's going to offend. I mean, he's whatever comes out. It is what it is.
Authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic. Yeah.
And something else that came up to mind was like, just to give you like a total random, like off the subject, had nothing to do with business or anything. So I have a friend, Joni and I both do, that we graduated from high school with, and we went to high school with, and why it came up is because this week she just became a professional bodybuilder, woman professional bodybuilder, and I have to imagine she's taking criticism and because of her size, her muscles, and like it's a lot of people say that's not womanly, or that's not. And if she listened to, she wouldn't accomplish the goals and success that she had as a female pro bodybuilder.
Right.
And I think that's like, I know it's random, but that's just showing you like overcoming and
I mean, I know her personally. I just know she's also one that if you tell her you can't do something, hell, I'm going to go do it just so I can prove you wrong.
Yeah, and there's a good. We need that, and that's what drove I think us for years was overcoming and proving people. And so there's a drive in there. Definitely that's needed. As I'm maturing, I'm finding too, though, that there's a time and a place for that. There's a time and a place, or a season. I think one of our areas, we said there was a season for us to have that drive to succeed. But then I think to have peace, or to so you don't kill your nerves in your body, you got to also, there's time for rest and peace. And I think, so there's a time and a place to have that chip on your shoulder, and then there's a time and a place that it's okay. You're perfect the way you are.
Right.
That you, in every sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I think you have to have that drive to get you over that hump, to know that you can, accomplish something. Saying. There's a peace. And then, when you get there, then that's when the peace comes.
And when you let it, I went through a season where I was really scared to let down that chip on my shoulder, that drive, because I felt like I was going to lose everything, or I was going to lose my drive. And so there's that side too. And I think as succeeders, or people that are overachievers, I think that's a fear, and so you keep, but it can drive a lot of marriage. It can, you can crash your marriage that way. You can, bad health, poor relationships with your kids, or just poor relationship with whoever. But I think there's a time and a place, and I think sometimes you need to let that, not be scared to let that chip go and just, again, go back to serving out of love and just accepting and loving yourself. And you still will maintain.
Right.
And I've had to find that out.
Yeah.
You'll still, and actually when you don't have that chip, I probably still, my business grew still. I was probably happier, than that period that I drove with that chip. But there's a time and a place for it. So, with the piece, I'm going to close it with, this is something that a quote from Peter Cronin. I thought it was just brilliant. I wanted to repeat it with you, but peace is accepting reality for what it is, accepting who you are, the circumstances you're in, whatever they may be. The only way you're going to change or achieve peace, and the most successful people are the people that are most at peace. But, accepting all the realities, all the circumstances, and just accepting it for what it is. It is what it is. It's where you are right now. Accept it. And then, and the alternative, is not to be subjective about the way I would like to be. Because I think that's when you're unrest or not at peace is when you're telling yourself the narrative of the way things should be.
Right.
And you're trying to, you're unhappy with the way things in your mind should be. And in retrospect, you should be saying, you know what? I just accept the way it is today.
Right.
So anyways, I hope you guys got a lot out of that. We might have just been rambling off for the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever it's been. But it was on our hearts and it was something that we're passionate about. So
so thanks everyone for joining us today. And leave us a review if you can. Visit us insidethewolfsden.com. And
please follow us on Instagram, Shawn the Wolf
and Joni M. Wolf on Instagram.
We'd love to hear from you guys and love to see your stories and hear from you and share with you. So until next week, we'll see you later.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkel. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. Talking. But Joni and Shawn are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.